What's going on, YouTube family? It's Matthew and Maryanne, host of the Millennials Choice show. And I'm here with...
Maryanne Stilo.
Maryanne is a sister from another mister. And this is our first live, guys. We don't have a plan for it. We just want you guys to get to know us a little bit better, get to know Millennials Choice, why the name, and learn a little bit more about who we are as people. And we're going to keep it light. It's like our pilot, right? So we got Carson in the house with his colleague Thomas. What's going on, boys?
Hey.
And we want to keep it light. We want to keep it funny. Carson, if you guys see anybody in the chat, if you guys see anybody commenting in the chat by any chance, let us know. We want to respond to them.
We'll be sure to do that, Matthew, for sure.
Good or bad. Especially the bad ones. I want to hear the bad ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Where do we start, Mare? What should we tell
I think
them?
we should start from the beginning, Matthew. I mean, this was sort of like your baby from the beginning. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, like how it all started? And because I remember you mentioning to me from the beginning, you were really young. You didn't just... How old were you when this started?
Yeah, so I was always, like in high school, I had a couple jobs. I had 2 lockers in high school.
You had 2 lockers in high school.
So I worked at Johnny Rockets. The American audience will appreciate this because they still have quite a few stores in America. They're shutting down now, I believe.
Okay.
But Johnny Rockets, old-fashioned hamburgers and all that stuff, awesome food. I started working there as a chef.
Wow.
So I cooked. They called it chef, but it was burgers and chicken and stuff like that. And fast forward, like in high school, I was just hustling. Like I had 2 lockers. I met people that came to Johnny Rockets from the mall that it was located in.
Okay.
In Vaughan Mills
Yeah,
Mall
Vaughan Mills.
here in Toronto. So we should probably tell them we're based out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
We're Canadians, eh? So I found this restaurant. My mom wanted me to go get a job. I had worked part-time at 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭, and then I quit and I found this job at Johnny Rockets. So I'm working there. People from the mall are coming into the restaurant, ordering lunch, ordering a meal, and I built connections. And then at the time, I'm 34, turning 34 in a couple months. At the time, you know those, did your kids have JanSport backpacks?
Yeah.
Still popular?
Very popular.
So the JanSport backpacks were like really popular, and you only had black, the color black.
Okay.
Then they came out with white, and then they came out with all the other styles. So I was the first one to wear white in the school, and the store that sold luggages and these backpacks, it was called LNS. They're not around anymore. And they basically, the general manager would always come in to get her chicken salad. I never forgot, her grilled chicken salad.
Okay.
One day I went in there, I bought the white one, and I said, if I want to sell some of these, like how much can you give them to me for? And at the time they were $39.99, the bag. She gave them to me for her cost, $8.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I had a white one. I wore the white one to school, and it's like in sales, right? If you work for, let's just say BMW, and people walk in and they want to buy a BMW from you, but you don't drive a BMW, you drive an Audi, you're not going to speak with the same level of conviction that someone who drives a BMW would and works there. So I had a white one. Everybody asked me about it. I sold them for $20. It was really cheap. So I made $12 per bag, and I'd have 2 lockers. One locker was like my regular school stuff, and then one locker was garbage bags full of these bags.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what grade were you in?
This was grade 10. I was
You were
16 years
hustling
old.
it.
16 years old.
Wow.
Making cash, baby. So
Wow.
whatever I didn't sell, like, or if there was a particular color afterwards that came out that didn't sell, I just give them back to this lady. So anyways, fast forward, I just give you a little bit of my mindset. That restaurant job, and then I ended up working at Lucky Strikes, the bowling alley, which, by the way, Drake in his video started from the bottom. That's where I met Drake once at the bowling alley. There was one scene with the bowling alley where he shoots a strike.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like a 2-second clip, 3-second clip, which took them like 8 hours to record.
Wow.
I was there. I was at York University at the time. And then I ended up going to ditching class and going to work because Drake was there. Wow. I met Drake. I dabbed him up. So proud moment. And just the mindset I had back then, at 19, I was able to buy my first pre-construction condo. And in Canada, you guys, like, trust me, we're not fans of what's going on right now here, but It's so expensive to buy real estate. So at 19, I bought a condo for $305,000. I had 15 G's saved from the restaurants. I put it into the deposit, and it took 4 years to build that condo. From there, I got into real estate. I was still 19 when I got licensed, and I just worked in the field of real estate and just added to our licenses, like mortgages and life insurance services and all that. And then I want to talk about how Millennials Choice came about, but there's a testimony behind it, so we'll put a pin on that for a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was a little bit about my early journey in my late teens.
That's impressive, Matthew.
Thank you.
And it's like that, I think, would motivate people, right? Like, you were hustling it at 16 years old in grade 10. Like, when do you ever hear of that actually happening? Not very often, right? Now, kids these days, are they really doing that?
It's hard. Like, when we go into schools, and we were going in a lot more pre-COVID, just to educate students in the areas of like financial literacy.
Yeah.
You see the smart ones. Like, there are like really smart kids that their parents have raised them well and they're asking the right questions. But that's the minority though. In a class of 30, you're lucky if you had like 3 or 4 of them like that.
Interesting.
So you're right. Yeah.
Wow,
right.
That's really interesting, actually. But I give you props because it takes like a special kind of person to really do that and to really set their mind to it and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do this and hustle it and really make something out of it.
My first official job, I was getting paid $7.20 an hour at 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐿's.
What was your role at Chuck E. Cheese?
I was just about to say the initiation that they have at Chuck E. Cheese's the first day is you had to dress up as Chucky.
So you were Chucky?
And listen, Chucky speaks. They have videos and they have those like robots that talk, like Chucky talks. So I'm there. The kids are coming, Chucky, and I'm like, "Hi guys," and they're like, "You talked, you talked." I'm like, "No, I didn't." Like I wasn't sure what to do. And that suit is disgusting. You sweat so much in it.
Oh my god!
It's so hot when you put it on. That I was 14. My cousin got me the job. 15, and then I did like just a year there, and then I quit.
Yeah.
Took some time off to find myself. And then at 16, I ended up going to Johnny Rockets. We were just walking around the mall, my mom and I. She's like, this looks like a good place. So my first day at Chucky was dressing up as Chucky and doing that. But I started in the kitchen. I don't know. I always found these jobs in a kitchen. So I learned how to cook like basic set of skills, nothing crazy, from these jobs.
My first job was in a restaurant too.
Was it? Where?
It was, so I'm not originally from Toronto. I'm originally from...
The boonies.
No. I'm actually from this little town called Amherstburg, which is about 25, 30 minutes away from Windsor, Ontario, and it borders Detroit. So I grew up there. I spent my childhood and my teens into my early 20s there until I got married, and then I moved here. But I grew up there, and there was this restaurant, this Italian restaurant. I'm Italian, so I naturally was gravitating towards that, and it was called Rosa's at the time.
Rosa's.
And I used to walk there after school. From high school, I was like 16 years old, and I would work there like 3-4 times out of the week, and I would answer their phone. And I would take their order because they offered like a delivery service, or you can go in and dine like at an Italian restaurant. So I would take the orders. I would answer the phone and take their orders and then give it to the chef, and he would cook the meal and send it out for delivery. So I did that. And then at the same time, I would wash the dishes.
Wow.
And I did that for the majority of my high school.
Yeah, it's more of your natural role as a woman, right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Excuse me, as a mom, we wear many different hats. That is one of them, but we have many different hats.
You actually just mentioned something I should probably let the audience know too. So you're Italian.
Yes.
We've interviewed lots of moms. We live now in an Italian, well, you do. We just moved, Sarah and I, but it's a predominantly Italian community.
Yeah.
And it's funny that we interview a lot of the Italian mob guys and
it's because you think you're
channel.
Italian, right?
No, in grade 3, I'm about to tell you guys where I'm from, but in grade 3, I had my Italian teacher, Miss Bianchi, okay? She asked me, she's like, where are you from? I said, Italy. She's like, no, you're not. You're not Italian. I said, what do you mean? I swear, like I remember it. It's one of those moments from your childhood that for whatever reason comes to your mind. You don't have to search for it.
It sticks with you?
It stuck with me because it was the moment the day I found out where my parents are from. So both of my parents are from Iraq. We are Christian Iraqis, so we're known as Assyrians.
Okay.
And it's basically, if you guys know anything about it, you read your Bible or you just taken a history class, Mesopotamia was the modern day nation of Iraq before Persia conquered and took it over and renamed it. So it was Mesopotamia. There were two major cities, Assyria and Babylon. So we are original peoples. And by the way, Assyrians, I just want you guys to know, we invented the wheel, the Code of Hammurabi, which is modern day law. That's the first written law. Okay.
Okay.
And among many other things like weaponry and mathematics, we wrote everything. We were the first, we were the language of Jesus. Jesus spoke Aramaic, and we're one of the dialects from that. So I'm not saying anything about Italians, because you guys got pizza and pasta.
I think you secretly want to be Italian.
You stole that from us. You took our pita bread, you put sauce on it, sprinkled some cheese, and that's it. You went to the Asian countries, took the noodles, made it into your spaghetti.
Why are you hating against
I'm just
Italians
saying.
right now?
I'm just saying that we've come a long way as a The cradle of civilization is known to be Assyria.
I think you secretly want to be Italian.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
So,
I can feel it.
my grade 3 teacher, we had parent-teacher interviews that day. She asked my parents, "Where are you guys from?" They told her. She's like, "Your son thinks he's Italian."
Were you devastated?
They in the car, they're like, "What are you doing?" Like, well, I'm like, "I don't know what this is. You guys never explained to me. Like, I don't know. I didn't know what it was." My dad rooted for the Italian soccer team. For Father's Day, I took a photo, and we had to create like a little gift for Father's Day in school. And there was puzzle pieces, and you'd crayon them in, but not the regular crayons. There was like pastel crayons.
Yeah.
And I colored them with his 3 favorite colors pertaining to his team, which was red, green, and white. And I put them all around this photo for Father's Day. And I thought he was really into, like, 'cause he's Italian. That's what I thought.
Wow.
That's what I thought. But so I'm Middle Eastern, and then you're Italian.
Yes. Very proud.
My wife is Portuguese. My wife is European. And we have 2 lovely kids, James and Sophia. Back to you. So Rosa's, you would do that, and you're from this small town bordering pretty much the States to Detroit.
Yeah.
And so then what happened? Who's Maryanne in high school? Like, what kind of, are you the popular girl? Are you the cheerleader? Are you
I was not the
nerd?
cheerleader. I was not the nerd. I want to say I was well liked. I was honestly friends with everybody. Yeah. I had a wide range of friends, and I just enjoyed good conversation and just hanging out with all different kinds of people and having a good time. And I enjoyed high school. And then from there, I ended up going to university. Well, actually, no, to back that up, I actually went to college first. My dad was a home builder in Amherstburg and Windsor area. So I got into it, and I was really into like architecture and doing that kind of thing, like doing like plans, like drawings and things like that. So I ended up going to college and getting my diploma in architecture. And then from there, I ended up going to university in the States, and I lived in the States.
Where?
So I lived on...
I didn't know you went to university in the States.
Yes, yeah. I lived on 10 Mile Road.
No way.
Yeah, I lived there for 2-3 years, and I lived on campus at the university, and I ended up getting my degree in architecture, and I worked in the States. After that, I ended up working in the States, and I worked there for a little bit at this architectural firm, and I met so many great people, like so many great connections, and then the recession hit in that time period. So I ended up losing my job. So I ended up coming back to Canada, and I stayed in Canada until I got married. And then that's when I moved to Vaughan, and I've been living in Vaughan for 15 years.
Wow.
My anniversary is on the 25th. So in a few days, and it'll be 15 years.
Wow. Congrats.
Thanks.
I didn't know you went to I didn't know you lived in the States and worked there. And,
Yeah.
Wow. So did you want to like stay in the States eventually? Was that your goal?
I don't know. I don't want to say that it was my goal, but I really enjoyed it. Like, I loved like the people. I loved the atmosphere. It's not to say that Canadians aren't patriotic at all, because they are patriotic, but I just find in the States, it's like a different level of patriotism. And I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I loved like the mindset. I liked it. So I took my time being there, and I enjoyed it. And I don't know. I guess I'm a firm believer of like everything happens for a reason, because
Yeah.
then I ended up getting laid off. You know, things happened along the way that brought me back to Canada and to Windsor, and yeah, which eventually led me here. So I'm happy that I'm here. I'm happy to be in Canada, to like build my life here, and you know, to be a mom here. Like I'm happy to be experiencing that and doing all of that here. But it was definitely a great time. It was definitely a learning experience to moving to a different country, even though it's right next door. It's very different. It's not the same. So it was cool. It was definitely very cool, and it was a good experience. I liked it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
You learn something new
cool.
every day about me, Matthew.
I know.
So I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
And my oldest, Victoria, is 12. And Nicholas will be 10 on Friday.
Wow.
And I have my daughter, Juliet, will be 8 next month. And I have my littlest son, Sebastian, who is 6.
Wow. 4 kids
4 kids.
and a hustling mom. Same baby daddy?
100%. 100%.
So Maryanne and I met through her husband, Nick. So Nick is a builder, a developer.
Yeah.
And he messaged me on Instagram. You know what's funny? You know, do you know the actual background of why he messaged me?
No.
No?
No.
So there was a building in Barrie, Ontario. It's a town in a city in Ontario here. And they were building this project on Essa Road that actually never got built till today. It's never been built. And this was 2017.
Okay.
So I was advertising it on Instagram because the guy that was supposed to be in charge of the project, I have a good Instagram following. It's very real estate based. And so we generate leads. We generate business from there. So he wanted some free promotion. So I just started advertising it. That building never happened, never transpired. I think the land exchanged hands a few times. And Nick saw that and DM'd me. My profile caught his attention because we weren't following each other.
Oh, wow.
And he DMs me, he goes, "Why aren't you advertising my building?" Just like that. And so I'm like, "Oh, hi Nick, how are you?" Like, what a loser.
That was
what
the
a
first
loser
thing
who
he said to
messages
you?
somebody like that. Yeah, exactly. No, I think he introduced himself. He's very professional. And I said to him, "Well, I don't know anything about your building, so let's set up a time to chat about it." And then he asked how I knew certain individuals that were going to New Life Church
Oh, okay.
at the time, because he saw them. You know, remember how Instagram shows you like
Yeah,
who
like-
you're following
yeah.
that he'll know, or mutuals?
Yes.
I think they changed it, but it used to be a little bit different before. It would show who the mutuals were.
Yeah.
So basically, I told him, I said, I go to that church. And he's like, okay, well, let's set up a time to meet. So that was 2017. I don't think you guys, we met, him and I, we met over a few times we met actually over 2 years. And then in 2019 is when, just before COVID, you guys launched the building in
Yes.
Barrie.
Yeah.
And so we worked on that building, 71 units in total.
Yeah.
We sold Millennials Choice. We should probably talk about that. Sold
Yeah.
37 of those units
Wow.
for you guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so 37 of our clients bought there. I bought there as an investor, and I still own my properties there. I have 2 of them, 2 units in there. And that was it. Like, we just hit the ground running, and Nick has now become, fast forward 2025, like a brother. You're like a sister, and your kids are like my kids. I love your kids. So
Yeah.
it's good synergy. Like, it all worked out. Had I not advertised or just put like a story or something, I don't know how he saw it, what I was doing exactly, of that project that didn't go through,
Yeah.
I would have never met you
Yeah,
guys
you
that
may have
way.
never have crossed paths.
Yeah.
It's crazy how things sort of transpire and happen, right?
Yeah, and that's like what I try to tell not only realtors but people in general. Like, say no to a lot of things that you know they don't make sense, but say yes to a lot of stuff too. The opportunity might not present itself right then and there.
Yeah.
You don't know where that opportunity is going to actually manifest itself, but say yes to the experience. Like, go through with it.
For sure.
I did that, and it was a bummer. We had a website, we did social media ads, and then that project never went through. So someone might look at it and say that was a waste of time and money.
Yeah, but was it really?
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't. And we've done so much more business together as with your family and family members.
Yeah.
So it's done really, really well for us.
So the 37 units, that was under the Millennials Choice
Yes.
brand. So how did that all come about?
Millennials Choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you guys to be I want to be transparent with you guys as much as possible. So I'm a born again Christian. I believe in Jesus. This is very important to Millennials Choice. So when I was going through in 2016, what I was going through in my personal life, where I just felt like really down, like there was so much sin I was doing, and like I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know like sin or anything like that. I was born Christian, but like it comes to a point where you have to make a choice. So I was just like a ritualistic Christian, like going to church, doing that, but not really, believing in this stuff like 100%. Like I was just doing what the routine was.
Right.
So in 2016, I felt really sick. Like I felt like physically really ill. And then I was at the point where I didn't want to go get tested. I didn't want to go do anything like that. Like I didn't want to find out the truth, because I was afraid that if I found out the truth was going to be so negative that it wasn't going to be pleasant. Like I just didn't want to do it. I was scared. That's the reality of it. So one day it was messing with my mind so much. We could be doing this, and all of a sudden it enters my mind that like you're really like ill and stuff. Like I couldn't.
It's like tormenting.
I literally couldn't shake it. Like no matter what, I read so many books on the power of the subconscious mind, all your subconscious stuff, and how to affirm and affirmations and all that stuff. None of it worked. Okay. Wow. So it was a really captivating thought. Maybe some of you guys, if you've experienced that, like share it with me, share it with us. It's like a stronghold. It captures you. Like you can't get out of it. So I ended up being in front of the medical building that's up the street. I think it's the Columbus Center. Yeah, Columbus, right? I ended up parking in that lot, and I said, like, God, if you're real, like if you could just heal me, because I had to go in there. I was like, I got to do all the tests. I got to do it. I go, if you heal me, like this is how convinced I was. I was like, if you heal me, I'll become a Christian. I'll dedicate my life to living it out for you, for Jesus, right? And by the way, it doesn't mean you're perfect. If anything, you're sinning like all the time. Yeah. But there's a certain level of forgiveness and trust that comes with that, and mercy. So I go into the center, I do the tests, and then I end up leaving, right? So couple days go by, and as you know, I don't know how it is in the States actually, but in Canada, if you have nothing wrong with you, the doctor doesn't call you. They just don't call because there's nothing wrong. Right? This was not good enough for me. Like I needed to know. I needed to hear it from the doctor. Like, you're good. So we're at our office. I'm not going to name the real estate company that we were a part of. And when I say we, at the time it was Danny and I, my brother and I. So we had this little desk upstairs. There's all the filing cabinets were there. It's like the mezzanine. It's not a proper second floor. It was a mezzanine. Okay. So it's really low ceilings, like dark and all that. But that was where our office was. We were like the juniors. They put us up there. Okay. And it was next to like this old boardroom and everything. But it was nice because it was quiet. We were the only ones there. So we'd make calls, shoot the shit, laugh. It was so funny. We had so many laughs, Danny and I, up there. And then I call the doctor because I don't hear from them. I leave them a voicemail. I'm like, I need you to call me back. I want to know my results. My phone rings. Danny's sitting across from me. My phone rings, and nobody knew what I was going through. I was battling it on my own. I didn't want to scare anyone. So I end up leaving the office. I didn't want to take the call in front of him. And then going down the fire exit, which is right beside us. So there was these stairs to go out from the back. So I go down the fire exit. I open the door. I go outside. And the doctor goes, you're fine. You're so fine. Everything is so healthy. You're good. All the good news, right? So I come upstairs. I come back upstairs. Ask Danny this. Danny goes, we should have had Danny here today as well. Danny goes, you look different. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what just happened? Like, he didn't even know. He can't hear it. We were so far away from each other. He's like, you look different. Wow. I said, and then that's when I broke down, tears, crying. You could obviously tell I'm emotional now. Yeah. Just crying. And I was like, this is what I've been dealing with. So he came around. He's like, I know I've been praying for you. Wow. Yeah. So from that moment on, I was like, Lord, like you're real. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to do the best I can to follow you. Yeah. But in that moment, we're praying in our office. And then I just start saying, I'm like, watch what's going to happen. Watch what's going to happen. That's all I kept saying. But in tears, like fully crying and everything. He goes, what do you mean? And I'm like, I don't know. Just watch what's going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. So we leave the office that day. 3 days goes by. I just stayed home. I don't know why. I stayed in my room. It felt like when you are playing a sport and then you linger, you go out for a bite to eat or whatever, you don't go home and shower right away, or you're at the gym, or you're just maybe at a farm and you just feel dirty. It felt, and then you shower and you feel that cleanse, you feel so clean.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. So at home, I was just so mellow, I was so chill, I was so happy. Like, you got a second chance at life. Like, that's how I saw it.
Wow.
And those 3 days, I said, we got to think about, this is 2016, we got to think about how to grow a brand, create a brand. It can't just be Matthew 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 and Danny 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸. It can't just be that. It has to be a bigger brand, and it can't be like the 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 team or like the Matthew 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 team. Not to knock on anybody who does it like that, but it's so limited to that one individual. I wanted to create a company, a group of companies. And so I started working with the backwards approach, because in university, I have practical like teachers college training and all that. So in teachers college, they taught us work backwards with what you're going to teach your students. So whatever the final project or task is going to be, work backwards in terms of what you have to teach them to get them ready and able to complete that task. So, okay, who's my target audience? Well, I'm a millennial. I probably connect better with millennials. So let's have the word millennials in there. So I'm thinking of a name. Then I'm thinking, well, millennials don't really have that much money. They're not really buying real estate, but they're being talked about, good or bad. So it's a good way to market. Afterwards, 3 days goes by. I cannot think of anything. I literally wrote down like capital, capital investments was one of them. Like I came up with these weird names. So then millennial, and I said, okay, I'm going to do millennial real estate, millennial mortgages, millennial insurance. I want it to be a group, and I want it to all flow. So 3 days goes by. I just kind of gave up. I go downstairs. I'm watching CP24, which is like a news network we have here. And they have this brand that they advertise, President's Choice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, choice. I'm like, would that be like a good connecting word? We call it, right? So I looked up Millennials Choice. Everything was available. The social handles were available. Only thing wasn't available was millennialschoice.com, which we bought, and I got it. And that was the birth of Millennials Choice.
Wow.
And I still have the journal that I drew the first logo. Like I was drawing the logos and different ideas and stuff. And I still have it at home. I look back at it. But that's how Millennials Choice was formed.
Wow,
as a
that's
name.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story.
So I believe, call me naive, but I believe that God gave me that in those 3 days.
Absolutely.
Right after I experienced what I experienced, we got that. So I was in the business at that time for only 4 years, 4.5 years I was in the business. And then fast forward now, we're coming up on 13 years next month in October.
Wow.
So I've done really well and no complaints. And we're busy now. Like even to be here today, we both had to sacrifice some stuff.
Yeah.
But we really want to do this. We really want to keep committing to this. Like I have a goal at the end of the year, 20K subscribers. We're just over 18,000. I think it's doable. And then we want to get to 100,000 next year. So yeah, Millennials Choice Show.
I think we can do it.
I think we can do it. We've got some interesting interviews lined up already coming up. So I'm excited about that.
I think that's great.
Yeah. So that's Millennials Choice. Talk to me about, I want to know something. We've asked you this before at home, but I want to know, again, I want our audience to know, how did you meet Nick?
Oh my gosh.
Because Nick is a bad boy. Nick is a bad boy.
You know what? And it's funny because, you may say that, but I don't know. We just mesh so well together and we feed off of each other. And I don't know. Everything is great. But I actually met him through my sister and my brother-in-law, because my brother-in-law and Nick are childhood friends. So they've known each other, and they grew up in church together too. So they've known each other since they were babies.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was that my sister ended up getting married, and that weekend that she got married, Nick was actually in the wedding party.
Wow.
So he came down, and I had never met him before. I heard like a little bit of him, but I didn't really pay too much attention about it because I heard about all of my brother-in-law's friends. So I didn't really pay too much attention to it. But he came down for the wedding because they got married in Windsor, and I met him there. And we just connected right away. Like we had such great chemistry, such great conversations, and it just clicked. And I knew I knew like within the first couple of meetings that we would get married. Like I knew that he was the one for me.
Wow.
And he will say the same thing. Like we just connected really well, and we just had similar values, similar goals, and just everything about it just worked really well. Not to say that, you know, there haven't been trials and ups and downs and, you know, rough patches along the way, because that always happens. It's only natural for that to happen. But, you know, after now being married for 15 years, you learn a lot and you sacrifice a lot and you compromise a lot. And I feel that, you know, we're at a really good place, and it's a journey. It definitely is a journey, and it's been like a good one. It's been exciting and good along the way. Hard, but good.
Yeah, marriage is not easy.
No,
Commitment is not easy.
No, it's not. Yeah. But I don't know. I think you have to go in it with the right mindset of whatever challenge you are being faced with, right? You can work through it as long as you are willing to work through it together. Like, and I feel like sometimes people think like, oh, I need to sort this out and I need to figure this out on my own. And that doesn't always, maybe in some cases it might be okay, but I generally find in my own experience that you have to work at it, whatever the issue is, together.
Yeah.
And then you end up coming out stronger in the end. And you have to compromise. It's a lot of compromising, but I believe it. Like I truly believe that, you know, God joined people together for a reason, and you know, you have to work through those challenges that you face, because you always will come across challenges along the way in any marriage.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I believe it too.
Yeah.
Carson, how did we meet? I wanna put him on the spot. Carson, this is nothing is scripted here today. I don't
know this either. I'm very curious. I want to know.
Yeah, how did we meet, Carson? I remember.
Yeah, no, that's a good question, Matthew. I'm just making sure my levels are here while I monitor the live stream. Yep. So what happened was I was working at an award show, and for this award show, we kind of come up with these videos that are then shown at the awards show. So Matthew was nominated for this award. I think it was at the Canadian Mortgage Awards. Is that right, Matthew?
I believe that was the first one.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
So I came in to do this fun little skit video. At the time, you had a bit of a larger team at that point in your career. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you were big and now you're going down.
No, I know
you don't have. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we had more people.
You had more.
Not
people.
necessarily the right people.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
There you go. And so we came up with this skit video, and I think we just kind of ran from there. You were kind of looking for some people, and also you came at a good time. We started things up during like pretty much COVID. That's when you decided, oh, let's go big on video now that it's COVID. And I was thinking, thank goodness, because I didn't have a lot of work at the time, just like a lot of people out there. So
yeah,
there we go.
We started September. The channel was opened August 2020, and then we dropped our first videos like around, I think, September, because remember we created a lot of content. We were experimenting with it. Like I didn't really know. I wasn't comfortable to do something like this, to be honest, where it's live. We probably should have. Back then, our channel would have been a lot bigger now. But we have real businesses that we focus on here that are busy, that have been established. So this was something we kind of just started toying with, and we changed things up here and there. And then we hit Michael Francis up. Remember Michael Francis? We did the Michael Francis interview. So how I did that one is off Zoom, off my laptop.
Right.
I didn't even know, and then I kind of just gave it to you. I'm like, hey, can you like put this together? I don't know how to post this. Yeah, basically, I reached out to. So first of all, shout out to PBD podcast, Patrick Bet-David. Like I follow a lot of what he does, and honestly, I copy a lot what he does. And I'm saying this like because it's a compliment. Like he's so success leaves clues, and he's so successful, and we love that. But he was like interviewing mobsters and then doing entrepreneurship and life insurance videos. And I'm like, what do one have to do with the other? Like, what do they have to do with one another? And, you know, I just noticed that the mob stuff would do really well. And it was more people were interested in watching that. So I reached out to so many people when the channel was first started. We had like 10 subscribers. And Michael Francis was the only one who replied and said, I have people in Toronto and Vaughan, and they looked you up, and you are credible. And that's why I'll come on the show, because you don't have any subscribers.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So, you know, it was like not last minute, but like I scrambled. We didn't have mics. We didn't have nothing. Like we were in our old office, Edgeley. You never saw Edgeley, did you?
No.
It's a clean office, very nice office. But small, like it wasn't set up, just one space, like one room and one open area. That's it. And so I opened up my MacBook and did it off the camera, off Zoom. No microphone, no nothing, no background. Like it was just like the wall with like, we had Millennials Choice floating on the wall. Like it was I think they call it a stencil, if I'm not wrong, something like that. And it was floating, and you just capture a little bit of it in the Zoom.
Wow.
He comes on, I'm wearing like a suit and tie. Sarah's in the room. She was working with me. This was before we got married and had kids. So she would work with me. And she comes in the room. Hi, Mr. Francis, like whatever. We just start talking to him. He was so nice. And then we did the interview. That interview, those interviews are still on the channel. You guys could look up our the oldest interviews. And they got hundreds of thousands of views and subscribers, and it monetized right away. Like we met the YouTube targets for monetization.
Wow.
Yeah. So like it was at that point where we should have taken that to a whole new level, but for whatever reason, it grew the way it grew. But I just kept going with it and reaching out to people. And then Sammy the Bull.
Yeah. I was just about to ask, like, who else have you interviewed? Because you've interviewed some pretty interesting people.
So we were in we ended up going to Michael Francis's home in California back in 2023, July 2023. Okay. 2023, 2 years ago. And I was in his home, so I got an in-person interview there. I got to meet him, see him at church there. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
Because he's near Pastor Greg Laurie's church.
Oh,
Harvest.
okay. Yeah.
So we attended that Sunday there. Yeah, it was nice. And Sarah was with me. Michael has a picture with James. Oh, we should have sent you this one. Carson, if I send you something now, can you post? No, not today. Okay, not today. But he has a picture with James. James was like 2 months old. We traveled with him. Oh. He has him like this in front of him. So James has a picture with like one of the most famous mobsters right now, former mobsters. And then I just started reaching out to everyone, and thank God, because of that interview, a lot of people said yes to come on the show. So we've interviewed Sammy the Bull Gravano. We've interviewed him like 3 or 4 times now. Michael Francis a few times. Johnny A. Light. A bunch of other guys. We've interviewed from Patrick Bet-David's team, Vincent Oshana, Thomas Ellsworth, Adam Sosnick. We're interviewing those guys again over the next few weeks, which is going to be cool. Those pods that I sent you the schedule for.
Yeah.
I was going to fill you in. So we're interviewing them virtually though, but we're going to have a nice setup for them. We've interviewed ex-KGB spy Jack Barsky. We've interviewed one of Mike Tyson's former training partners, Egan, Big Joey Egan. We've interviewed a former detective that was in charge of basically the B.I.G. and Tupac murders.
Wow,
Greg
that's
Kading.
cool.
Yeah, Greg Kading. We've interviewed Michelle Assad, ex-CIA in the Middle East. She's American, but she was a spy basically in the Middle East, which was so cool. We've got pastors, we've got TV actors, we've got Noel Guglielmi. He's best known as like Hector in every single movie in Fast and the Furious.
Oh yeah.
Bruce Almighty, like the guy who's the monkey goes in his butt in Bruce Almighty. That's who we've interviewed. We talked about that. We've interviewed ex-cartel members, and the list goes on. And so my intention is to really bring on more and more guests, ex-UFC fighters, more and more guests, and just really take this thing to another level while we're sharing our stories. Our audience is getting to know us. Like, we really want to connect with the subscribers. Right now, they love the interviews. They do really well, but we want more of them to connect with us because of us and our style and our approach. Because, you know, you watch one interview with a mobster, maybe it sounds repetitive. So what's unique is not necessarily the guest. What's unique is the host of each podcast.
Right.
So it's important to do that. So we're excited. We've got some plans. I'm gonna work on it, and we'll see. We'll see what the next couple months hold and what 2026 holds. But yeah, that's how it started.
That's wild when you really think about it. And you know, that's pretty cool that he gave you a chance, because like you said, like how many followers did you have at that time
10.
with that first
10.
with that first person that you interviewed? You hardly had anybody, and he gave you a chance, and it like exploded into opening up all these other doors.
Yeah.
Because you've even gone to, I remember you telling me one time, like you've gone to New York, and like things that transpired while you were there and all of that. Like,
Should we share that? Like, with
I
these
think you
guys?
should, because
So,
that was a pretty cool story.
wild in New York. I know which one you're talking about. So like, for example, we went to Arizona, and if you guys watch the interview, we were the first guys to go to Sammy's studio and interview with him. We might not have dropped the interview right away,
Right.
because we interviewed so many people and we had so much content. But when Sammy the Bull, we interviewed him, I remember like this stuff happens to us in our interviews all the time. This happened in Arizona. This happened in New York. This happened in Chicago when we went to interview 𝐾𝐨𝐫𝐿 and all these other guys, the Chicago mob. And basically what happens is, like, for example, Sammy has found God. He got baptized recently, right? And so there would be moments where he would talk to us about God without us instigating it. So we never planned for it. Yeah, did Danny and I, we would pray before the interviews, like that the interviews went well and everything was nice and comfortable for everybody. Because listen, at the end of the day, you're still meeting with Sammy the Bull. There's still a little bit of fear.
For sure.
Like when I pulled up to Sammy's office, I went around twice, like just to make sure like nothing's going on. Not necessarily Sammy doing something to us, but maybe someone wants to do something to Sammy and we're at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
And we're wearing a $20,000 watch or something happens. You don't know.
Right.
So there's always that fear factor, but it's exciting at the same really exciting at the same time. And so Sammy, in the second interview where we're in person with him, we had talked, Danny and I, we said, look, we're not going to bring up anything religious in this interview, right? And we agreed. So Sammy's talking about how some of these guys in the mob, they were in prison and they just said they became Muslim or they became Christian just to get a lighter sentence and get released early or whatever, right? So he's saying this. And he goes, where was Jesus? You can see this in the interview. He goes, where was Jesus when I was in prison? So I'm just still looking down at my notes, paying attention to him. It's not really clicking. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I want to know from you guys, he says. And Danny kicks me under the table like, are we going to go or are we not going to go? I said, go, tell him. So tells him. And then I share a story as well with Sammy. And Sammy, after we were done, goes, he just sits back and goes, nobody's told me that. Like nobody said it that way before.
Wow.
Right. And it was a very important question he asked. He goes, how can a God send his son to die for pieces of shit like me? He said. He's like, I wouldn't even sacrifice my son for good people. Valid question. Very valid question. It's a very valid question. You want to know the answer, watch that interview. But then in New York, so Danny and I go to New York. We're interviewing Anthony Ruggiano Jr., 𝐼 Quinta, John A. Frankie Steele, Anthony Hootie Russo, and we get so usually we take Ubers here. Like we don't go in cabs anymore. So Danny, we're at JFK. Look up the Uber. Like check out how much it's gonna cost. Whatever. For whatever reason, the Uber was way more expensive that day than the cab.
Okay.
And New York JFK, it's very like it's dangerous, right? So like they have cab stands. It's not like Pearson here, where you could just grab a cab or whatever. They have cab stands. You take a ticket. When it's your turn, they call you. So that you're not hopping into like a bad cab. Mm-hmm. And so he takes the ticket. We're waiting our turn. We get a cab. We get in the cab. And it's a man who's Punjabi. He's from India. And he's got a turban. And there's a plexiglass, a very thick plexiglass. Picks us up. Danny's on the laptop. He's selling his primary residence at the time. He firmed it up in the cab right there.
Wow.
That happened too. So he's working on it. I'm just listening. And the music catches my attention. And I'm like, this is like Christian music. Like worship music that you see in like evangelical churches.
Right.
So I'm like, so I knock on the glass. I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, do you like this music? That's my personality, guys. I'm very blunt. And I have a filter, but you know, I'm blunt nonetheless. I said, hey, are you guys, you like this music? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you know what they're singing about? He's like, no.
He said no?
He said no.
Wow.
And, like, you know, he's still very much like Indian. Like,
Yeah.
and forgive me, I actually don't know their religion. I think it could be Sikh.
Yeah.
Sikhism.
I think.
Or maybe even Punjabi. I don't want to be offensive, but I just don't know. So I said, do you know what who they're singing about? He's like, no. I'm like, have you ever heard of Jesus Christ? He's like, no.
Wow.
In the cab ride
Wow.
from the airport to the hotel.
Wow.
I'm like, do you want me to tell you about him? And he's like, yeah. So
You said that to him?
Yeah. So I just start telling him of like who Jesus is. He's the God that Christians believe in.
Mm-hmm.
He's this, that, and this is what he did and while he was on earth. And so I just share that with him. And afterwards, he's so happy. Like, comes out of the taxi, takes our bags out. I go, can I pray with you? He's like, yeah. And we prayed. We prayed together in Times Square. We stayed in Times Square.
Wow.
Yeah, we actually stayed in Times Square Hotel. So we were right there. We prayed with him. And we never stayed in touch. I never got his info, unfortunately. But I kind of said, get into a church that, reads the Bible. And it's not just some person making up their own ideas about this God. It's from the Bible. And so that happened. Chicago, same thing happened. Like, it was crazy, but not with a cab driver, but with one of the guests there. So in Chicago, I'm interviewing these guys, like all these guys, criminal lawyer, Paul Whitcomb, and Joey Seifert, and Mario Agati, and 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭, and then we're doing panels, and we're doing that. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I'm getting these thoughts of like, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be in that chair. You're not good at this. You're wasting your time. You left your wife. You left your son. Your brother's here. Same thing. All these things. These thoughts were like, I was interviewing. I remember the lawyer. I was interviewing Paul.
Okay.
And I'm interviewing him, and I actually didn't know that he was a person of faith fully. I was just meeting him for the first time.
Right.
So I'm interviewing him, and these thoughts are in my head. So I'm like nodding my head, whatever, and I'm like, get out of my mind. Like, I rebuke these thoughts, right? And they're just temptations. And usually when I get those thoughts, it's because you're moving in the right direction. If you ever get moments like that in your lives, the devil doesn't want you to go through what you're about to go through, because he knows what purpose God has for you over here while you're still here.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to stop you here, right? It's like when they killed all the babies in Israel in the Bible when Jesus was born, and King Herod wanted to kill all the babies that were 2 years and under because he wanted to kill Jesus because he was afraid Jesus was going to become the king of Israel.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same way. Like, get it early, stop it early, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same strategy, same play. You could see right through it. But, it weighs you down as a human. We have feelings.
Sure. Yeah.
We finished the interview. Paul comes up to me, just me, not Danny, pulls me aside. He goes, hey, I want you to know something. You need to keep doing this. You're great at it.
Wow.
Just like that, right after the interview.
Wow.
I looked at him. I'm like, you want to know what was just happening? And I told him. He's like, oh, man, that's the enemy. Like, don't let him get to you. One coincidence, fine.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, hundreds of thousands, like, around the world. These are things that happen. So our channel is blessed. I know Millennials Choice is blessed. We're finding our way. Any support you guys can give would be greatly appreciated. But, yeah, that happens in our business all the time.
Very
all the
much
time.
so. Those are some pretty crazy stories, Matthew.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now in our business here, people will come up to us and be like, aren't you guys the ones that interviewed so-and-so? Like, they're so like, I've had people say to me, oh, like, my wife's uncle used to be in Brooklyn and was like an associate and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Like, but it's the barrier, in real estate, everyone's a realtor. We're not saving lives here. We're not building rockets, but we're serious about our business. But we have a lot of realtors here. So when you introduce yourself, it's a nice way to say, I also have a podcast. I interview all kinds of people from all walks of life. I've interviewed pastors, ex-mobsters, blah, blah, blah. Usually when I do that, that person will right away click.
Yeah.
Like, they think it's so badass. It's so cool. You know what? It is cool.
Yeah, I was just about to say, but it is cool.
I never thought of it that way. I enjoy
cool.
it.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, and it really, I would think like it would give you, like a different perspective on things, right?
It does.
Because you're interviewing such different types of people that you may not necessarily, think a certain way, and then when they come into the conversation, it could give you a different perspective, a different light on certain situations, on certain conversations.
I've gotten so many lessons, like, you know, Larry Matza, for example. He worked with the Grim Reaper, Greg Scarpa, countless bodies, FBI, and turned out FBI informant, you know, like, it was crazy. And when I'm talking to Larry, who, you know, he's murdered people, like, it's, you know, he's testified to that. There's emotion that you can't pick up on the camera, but you see it in person.
Yeah.
Right? And
For sure.
Larry wants that forgiveness, wants that feeling of forgiveness. And he can't reconcile that. And a lot of these killers can't do that.
Wow.
And it's like, the point is, it's like, I refer them to the story of Paul in the Bible, and he was literally slaughtering Christians. He went to get letters of authority from the high priest at the time to go and get permission to go slaughter Christians that were located in Damascus. And his name was Saul of Tarsus at the time. On his way, he encounters Jesus. Mm-hmm. Jesus was resurrected at this time. He encounters him and falls off his horse, is blinded for 3 days, becomes Paul that we know as the Paul of the New Testament, writes all the letters to the churches. But he was the most, like, you want to say the worst, even though God sees everyone, all sinners equally, but worst human-wise, like, you took a life. Yeah. So that was really bad worldly, right? So God forgave him. So I share that story with these guys, and we pray with them after. Like, we have these conversations you don't see on screen, which I think I want to show you guys going forward, because it's so real, because you guys see these people in certain lights. I'm talking specifically the mobsters, and you don't want to give them a second chance. You want to condemn them for their actions. Yet every single one of us have had bad intentions and bad thoughts, and sometimes acted on those thoughts in our lives. So we are guilty of sin as well. Yeah. So Larry, I remember Larry, you could watch it in the interview with Larry, and we were in Florida. We did a panel with him and Gene Borello. They happened to be at the same time, but then we interviewed Larry by himself. Larry was really emotional when that came up. He just can't understand. Their brains can't wrap around how much mercy that a loving God has, where he'll forgive you for even the most outrageous and grievous of sins. Wow. Yeah, so these things, we experience these things in our podcast, so it's so cool, because I never thought when I was starting my podcast that I would do that.
That it would evolve to that?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing,
so
Matthew.
I'm just going with it. It's fluid. I'm going with it. Yeah. And I love it. I truly love it. It's interesting. You know what your husband said to me when you guys were over our house the other day?
What?
I was telling him, I go, you know, I'm gonna be flying out to New York soon.
Oh, yeah.
Did he tell you?
Yeah.
So I hope he's on board, because he literally said, he's like, I'll come with you.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll come with you.
He did. He literally was saying to me, ask Matthew, like, when are we going? And then I said to him, where are you going?
Yeah, I didn't talk to you about this. I figured when I was more serious with dates and stuff, that I would talk to him about it. And I was just saying, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I have all these opportunities to interview people. Yeah. I got to leave my son. So my son, James, is 2.5. My daughter's 1.5. They're 11 months apart. It's been a really busy time, you guys. So, and stressful too, like, not going to lie. And then combined with everything else going on. So I'm like, how do I fly? I'm not flying the whole family out. I'm not paying that much money for all of them. And it's not a family vacation. And you got to think about the rental car and the booster seats and all these things. And it's like not easy, right? A stroller. And we did that once with him in California and Florida. But then with Sophia, with 2, it's even harder. Mm-hmm. So no chance. Well, we wanted to, but I said, we're not going to do that every trip. So then I started thinking, should I just fly in, interview 1 or 2 people and fly back, or fly back the next day? That's kind of where we settled. But then I'm like, things can go wrong. Things can get delayed. It's happened before where it gets delayed another day, the interview. And it's like, what if I have to fly back? Right. So this was weighing on us. So when you guys came to our house, we were thinking about that, like, all those days leading up. And I just brought it up, like, exactly how I just did. And Nick goes, I'll come with you. I'm like, what do you mean you'll come with me? He's like, I'll come with you. He's like, you're going to pay your own flight and we'll split a room or something, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, 100%. I'm like, but wait, do you want to be in the interview? He's like, no. He's like, I just want to come with you. I'm like, do you want to be in the interview? Like, I started thinking, like, why not have another person there? Yeah. And Nick has a podcast too. Yeah. What's it? Groundbreakers? Yes, podcast? Groundbreakers, yeah. Yeah, Grounders? Groundbreakers, yeah. And I just said, wow, I told Sarah, she's like, that's a great idea. Yeah, so I
He
think
mentioned it the other day.
I think we're gonna do that. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
New York's probably the first stop.
Yeah, that's what he said to me. He said, "Oh, like basically in a nutshell, by the way, I'm going to New York with Matthew." And I'm like turning my head like, "Excuse me? Like where are you going
Yeah.
without me?"
Yeah.
But yeah, he briefly mentioned it and I'm like, "Go."
And I think
Absolutely.
we'd enjoy it. Like
I think you
I'm
would
so
too.
tight with her husband. Like we're like real brothers. So
Yeah.
so that's in the works.
I think that's going to be a really amazing experience.
Yeah, we got some cool people we're interviewing. Like if you guys want to watch like an ex-Catholic priest who's exposing the Catholic Church, I'm working on that.
Wow.
I'm working on that. I'm working on some other female guests that are part of certain lifestyles previously. And it's exciting. It's exciting. And then if Nick's going to come with me, then it might be worthwhile interviewing some of these guys we've interviewed already. And just, I want to hear Nick interviewing them in person, asking his question. And he's Italian too, so it'll go really well.
He'll be
with
right
that.
in the zone.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? What else do we want to say? What's our time, guys? Is my watch correct? 10:45?
At 10:47.
10:47?
Yeah, it looks like we've got about 15 minutes left if you'd like to go till 1 o'clock.
Yeah, till 11 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, it's this watch again.
Yeah, let's keep going a little bit longer.
Oh my God. You're funny, Carson.
Did we get any? Do you guys know if we got any comments or anything?
Yeah.
How many viewers do we have? Like, I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
I don't know if you're familiar with Sarah, with a lady named Sarah.
Shout out to Sarah. I mean, I have a wife named Sarah.
That's it. That's it. She's saying,
Hey,
"Hi,
Sarah."
beauties," and then she's saying,
Aw, how sweet.
"Mary, you're fantastic and the best mama," with a
Oh,
clap.
thanks, Sarah.
Aw, thanks, baby.
Thanks, Sarah.
Did she say anything about me?
Just bad things here, Matthew.
How many did we get so far?
Oh
One?
my gosh.
5, 1, or 156?
Oh, 16 he's saying.
Oh,
Yeah,
16.
16 Thomas is saying.
156.
You can't read sign language.
Oh my God.
I enjoy this. Like I wanna do more lives.
I
definitely wanna do
actually
more
like
lives.
this. I think that it's
appropriate.
Yeah, I really do. I think that it is very appropriate and it's comfortable. So I think
Maryanne
it's
got
great.
me emotional today with
I'm
his
glad.
testimony of
Yeah,
mine.
but
I
that's
was not
nice.
expecting it.
That's like a whole other side, Matthew, that I don't see very often.
I know. I'm
So-
really tough with Maryanne. So Maryanne and
Yeah,
I,
you are a little tough, but it's okay.
our core pillar is real estate. That's where we started, and then all the other services are like ancillary. So we just offer them to our clients.
Right.
And Maryanne is one of our team members, and so I'm really tough. She was late today, and I was really tough on her.
Things are out of my control, okay? Out of
Yeah.
my control. Trying to get all my kids off to school.
It happens. Don't worry about it. And we have a very good relationship. I met my wife. So I met her at the Johnny Rockets. I met her. I was making a milkshake. No lie. Like I was literally making a milkshake. She came in on her birthday on a day that I wasn't scheduled to work.
Really?
I took somebody's shift. It was a Tuesday.
So she was there like with her family?
Just
or
her cousin.
sister? Oh, okay.
And they came in, and the guy, I shouldn't say this because he could get in trouble. So anyways, I was just making their milkshake.
Okay.
And a drink they ordered, and then I was by myself out there because he was just in the back at one point. And so I'm making the milkshake, and it's like if you ever watch the McDonald's movie Founder, and they're using those mixers.
Yeah.
That's what got his attention about, wow, they need so many mixers. They must be really busy when nobody was buying mixers. We had one of those.
Wow.
So you have the tin cup,
Yeah.
you put the ice cream in, you put the milk in, it's so
Yeah.
good. And it was French vanilla ice cream too. And then you blend it, and you
Yeah.
have the twirly spoon. It's a long spoon.
Yeah.
And you kind of like jam the ice cream, bring it into like where the spinning piece is.
Yes.
So it really blends it nice. So it's not chunky. So whatever. I'm just like so focused. I'm like doing it. I look up. Sarah's like eyeing me down like an eagle about to capture its prey that it sees. She's like eyeing me down like that.
Okay, relax.
I swear, Maryanne, I was like this making the milkshake. I was like this, and then I just started looking at her, and I slowed down. I was like, this. It was so awkward, and I'm like, what is she like grilling at, right? But jokingly, we tell people now my milkshake brought her to the yard because I was making the milkshake.
I think we need to get Sarah on here so she can
She
tell
won't
us
deny it.
her side of the
She
story.
will not deny it. And then I tried to pick her up there, like ask her for her number there.
Yeah.
She did not give me her number. She gets up from the booth, bumps into the booth. She was so nervous, ran out. And then she added me on Facebook.
Oh my God.
And I ignored her for like 6 months.
I hope not.
I was in exams. I was in school. We were just chatting online.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I'm like, so you're my girlfriend, right? Like, it was just like that. Yeah. And then
How sweet.
We broke up halfway through like our relationship at the time. We dated for like a few years, broke up for a year, then got back together.
Oh, wow.
And boys, if you guys are the men that's listening to this or you're going to watch this, the answer I needed to know if she was the right one for me personally was, because I always wanted kids, was, is this somebody who's going to be able to raise my children?
Yeah.
Like, would I trust her with that? That was the only question that I needed. Everything else, I was like, you can figure it out because you're not perfect.
Yeah.
So I was like, you can figure it out. You're going to have to
right?
compromise. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even like that word compromise. It's just really just understanding, being a good human.
Yeah, for sure.
And working on yourself so that you could be better for others.
Yeah.
That's how I look at that. So, yeah, fast forward now. So Sarah would work with me, and then after we had James, we tried it, and I said, you know what? I think you gotta just be a full-time mom. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot. So we've made some good career moves, and we're busier than ever.
Awesome.
We're more blessed than ever. We feel really good. This year was a trial year, and it was such a big trial, and it was awesome how it played out.
Yeah, but you came through it, right?
Yes.
In that midst, it's so difficult. But then when you get out of it, it's like a huge weight is lifted off of you.
Huge.
And it's, I don't know, don't you feel like it's almost like a sense of like accomplishment? Like I journeyed through this. It was so challenging. It was so hard, but we made it through, and we made it through stronger.
I always do New Year posts and I write down my goals. I'm a very big writer. I love writing. And December 23, 2024, I closed my house that we live in now.
Right.
As you know, we didn't sell our other house, and we're in a big real estate crisis here in Canada, but in Ontario specifically. So I closed it. It was 2 days before Christmas, feeling like garbage. Couldn't even get into like the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not posting anything about New Year's because I hated 2024. The only blessing that I found with 2024, and I don't want to sound wrong for saying this, was that my daughter was born in 2024 and my son turned 1.
Yeah.
And so other than that, it was a rough year. So I went into it without any posts, without any goals, just knowing what lied ahead and that we had to go through it. And literally maybe just up until like August of last month, we were going through all that.
Yeah.
Paying 2 mortgages for the 7 months, having really like down to your last little bit of savings, like your savings dwindled away, and a lot of Canadians been going through that. And it wasn't because we weren't doing well, it was because I, as a young man, aggressively invested in real estate in my portfolio, and so I was over leveraged. Like I didn't have that much savings left over. Not a good place to be. Strongly don't recommend it for people. But we ended up selling our home. We ended up making other moves that we had planned. It wasn't just that transaction. There's a bunch of other transactions, and it all worked out. All worked out. And that's why we're doing the live today.
Yeah.
We wanted to do this before.
Yes, we did.
I literally just couldn't get myself to focus on it. I was like, I cannot do this. I have so many other things happening right now that I won't be in the proper mood to do this.
Right.
Like maybe mood is not the right word, because we all
Maybe mindset.
Headspace.
Yeah.
Like there was way too much going on. And when that happens, I cut off a lot of things and I just focus on the priorities. And usually it's like 1 or 2 things.
Yeah, for sure. Because when we spoke about it, this was like a few months ago. Don't you remember? We spoke about this. Seriously, I think it was like a 2-hour conversation. Like we were talking on the phone for 2 hours.
About what? Lives?
Yes, it was just about this. And we were just talking about all these different things. But it started with this conversation of the lives. Like you would send me some stuff. We were discussing it. And then we just got in deeper.
Yeah.
And it was just a really good conversation. And it was 2 hours long. And then we sort of like paused it because of what you were just saying. Like you weren't in the right mindset.
Yeah.
All these things were happening. But now you came through it.
Yeah.
Like you got through it, and
we got through it, and like when you get through it, you're a new person.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're literally a new person. You learn the lessons that God wanted to teach you, and the change, which was kind of like going on for the last several months, but overall the last couple of years, but mostly the last few months.
Right.
That change happened. It felt like overnight.
Yeah.
The moment something was done a certain way, like God changed it in a second.
Right.
So I feel great. I wanna keep doing this. I wanna keep doing more content, obviously, consistently. Our interviews that we were dropping, we have one more dropping very soon with Anthony Hootie Russo.
Mm-hmm.
That was all done. Remember when we recorded?
Yeah.
We were recording everything like February, March.
Yes.
Some of these interviews, I'm wearing my turtleneck.
Yeah.
And it just dropped. That was
Yes.
from winter.
Yeah.
So like we planned so much, which was good because I again wouldn't have had
Mm-hmm.
the ability and the mindset to do it after March.
Yeah.
So we did it. It was great. But now we're not in that place. We're not in that valley anymore.
No.
So we don't have to
And don't you find like you have a new like appreciation of certain things that
every day.
yeah.
Every day. Just thank God. Like everything else. And I was always like that. Like I always appreciated it. But this was a really big trial. Like,
Yeah.
it was really big. One of the biggest in my life.
Mm-hmm.
In my life. So I'm glad we've come out of it.
Yeah.
And
You're
let's,
getting emotional again, Matthew? I
no,
think you are.
I'm so stuffy. I'm so stuffy now because of what happened. But it was good. I'm so happy. I'm so excited to be here.
Mm-hmm.
What's one thing you'd want to see in the podcast next year? Because you bring such an awesome perspective that we never had before.
I don't know. I think maybe I think one thing that I would love to see is just interviewing more women and getting their perspective on different issues that everyday moms, businesswomen face, right? And just even in that whole mindset of like juggling it all and trying to navigate life because I find that sometimes even with myself, like as a wife, as a mom, as trying to build a career, like all of these things, it can be hard. So I would love to see like more of that, just different perspectives on that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's a good idea. Help us find some.
I will.
Look up someone you'd want to interview. Let's get a hold of them.
Yeah, I would.
And
Yeah,
obviously,
I
if
totally
our
will.
audience has someone they want to recommend,
if they have a suggestion, for sure.
they know somebody, like put us in touch. We
Yeah.
want support from everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
that's
obviously
great.
subscribe to the content.
yeah.
Yeah. Connect with us also on IG. That's where we usually are on Instagram. So
Yeah.
what's your plug? What's the handle?
It's Maryanne Stilo _ realtor.
Okay. So
That's
maybe
what it
we
is.
can put that in the
Sure.
description, and then Matthew 𝐿𝐫𝐿𝐵𝐿, just my first and last name. And we respond.
Yeah,
we
do.
respond to our messages. So
This was a lot of fun.
it wasn't as like nerve-wracking as it was like me thinking about it.
No, it was good.
Yeah. We're natural.
For sure.
Maybe we should start doing our interviews live. That would be like
Yeah.
when we're interviewing a guest.
Yeah, I
Just
think
do
we
it live.
should. Yeah, I think we should.
That would be cool. They say something really messed up. They're like, huh? You said it.
Too bad.
Too bad. Our producers, should we wrap it up now? Yeah. So guys, thank you. I'm happy that whoever joined us, we're faithful with the few the way we're going to be faithful with the many. So
Yeah.
we're so grateful that you tuned in, and leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys thought. Connect with us. And I'm sure we're going to see you guys really soon.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Till next time.